Hi everyone. Well, so I said I'd do this video today, so here I am at the last minute, 7:30 at night, trying to do the video. I spent most of the day faffing around with TikTok to try and figure out how I can go live on both YouTube and TikTok at the same time, only to find out that you can't go live on TikTok unless you have 1,000 followers. So that was an entirely wasted day, but on the plus side I have managed to do this vertical format, so I'm upgrading my tech skills. Not really liking seeing myself on half the screen that you see on vertical format, but hey, it is what it is. Might just have to put some makeup on next time. Okay, so I said I'd go through the alts that I did on silent on the stream yesterday, that I did silently, and do a quick update of those so you can see those with the commentary rather than having to talk while I'm doing them, which then results in far too much talking. So I'm figuring give this a go. So yesterday yesterday's video, at the start of the video, I did MOG, which was, MOG is the first on the list of starting with the numbers, and then I started with the A's and I got down to AMB. I can't remember where the overlap is actually, whether AMB actually talked about it or not. I feel like I did, but and then I finished the A's yesterday, so I'll quickly run through the rest of the A's just on this video and then upload that, and then I'm going to have to do more of the B's that are going to be tomorrow. Yeah, so without further ado, here we go. So just in case I didn't cover it already, we've got 5-day supply there. If you watch yesterday's video, you'll know kind of what the structures are and what I'm looking for. Yeah, I do remember saying on this yesterday actually that, you know, it's in a giant range, and you know, we're now approaching the bottom of the range, so we can look for longs, but there is a fair chance that we're going to break down, given potentially we're in a bigger downtrend, although this chart I think might have a some more history behind it that I don't have here. I've got a feeling it was a Bittrex chart. Anyway, so I've set an alert at all-time low. Like, we do have a bit of support in here, but it's all sort of multiply tested. So now I'd feel like either we're going to get a breakdown or we're going to get a swing fail of the low. So I set an alert on the low, and then on this 5-day supply up here, like so many of them have. AMP, this was obviously a stronger one on the pump. Set an alert, it's got a monthly demand down here, so I've set an alert down there, monthly and a 2-monthly, and then also that same 5-day supply. I'm probably going to find that I'm going to get a front run on a lot of these now. I think yesterday, actually this may have already had this yesterday. Yesterday some things made a 3- and 5-day supply, and even Ether made a 4-day supply. Sorry, some 4- and 5-day supplies yesterday. So it's possible that we don't get the test before dropping now, or we just test these immediate zones. This 5-day is going to close in the end of tomorrow, and yeah, there's a 4-day in there now as well. So I'm not going to update all of these now. I'll have to go back and look at some of the newer ones will come in. I mean, at some stage this zone will probably get tested, so it will remain valid at a later date, but it's possible it won't get up there now. 8. Just let me check I'm on log scale. So APE I was generally short biased because we had monthly supply. I've got this sort of crazy looking channel in there, which I feel like wasn't in there yesterday, but maybe I just worked over the top of it without really noticing. So it did come out of the channel, but not very well, and now is back inside the channel. So I'm not a big fan of diagonals for anybody who follows me. I much prefer horizontals and zones. So we're in a sort of weekly demand here. Let's go to the weekly chart. Weekly demand here, we've already got wick through. Not expecting this to hold particularly. There is a 2- and 3-week demand down here that I've alerted, but again, I don't think those would be particularly high probability because now we're coming off this 2-month supply. And we're still at a lower high, so yes, it might pick up a bounce here, it might be a scalpable bounce, maybe it'll be a reversal bounce, but until we actually see that, this is still a high time frame downtrend. But yeah, I've set the alert anyway, and again here we're going to have probably a 4 or 5-day supply, 4 days already in there. So we may or may not get back up to test this. Although having said that, like when we do have zones like this that have been just missed, I mean this maybe came close enough to count it as tested, but sometimes when we have zones like this missed, what we'll do is get a bit more of a move down and push up into there, taking out the stops of this and then the bigger move down, so watch out for those. Apex. So this one again, I've set an alert here, a 5-day demand, but I've said if it breaks and then this, and also this daily demand that it's sitting on top of, then we're looking for a big short, because obviously this can drop significantly lower. There's a 3-month and a 6-month level, so this could have a really decent drop if it wants to. So it'll be interesting to see. And again, up here I've set an alert for weekly supply, and then there's a 1 month right above it. So again, I'll just see what happens if it gets up there. But that's kind of an interesting one to just keep an eye on, because if you do see this start to break down over the next, it's potentially weeks, could be days because it's crypto, but maybe weeks, then it's worth watching that for possibly a big short. API 3, I've got 2 charts here, so this is the other one I'm using. So I do the A's quite a lot, so you'll see quite a lot of alerts on the A's and fewer as we go down the list. So here I've set an alert, there's a 4 or 5 day supply up here, so I've set an alert for that. If it gets retested. In this case, this is one of the more bearish ones. It had 2-month supply, it hasn't gone through it, it's now made a 3-week supply, so again this might just fall straight from here without the test. I'm not looking at any longs in here because I feel like those trendline stops are very likely to get taken out. And then we've got its monthly demand, so I put an alert there for a retest of the monthly down there. I'm not overly confident about it, but again we'll see. If you can get the swing failure of these lows, then great. APT. So here we're drifting into a weekly demand. We have a monthly there. I think it was tested already. Take this out. I don't know why that's still there. Sometimes the layouts get me, where they're saving drawings on one but not on others. Okay, yeah, so we've got this monthly from over here that's been tested multiple times already. There is a monthly in there that got run through, but there's no, so while it looks like there's a monthly there, there's no actual local monthly on this. It's coming through a 2-week demand there. It's still holding it for now, but obviously isn't looking great as it stands. So I've got an alert down here, 4-day demand inside the 3-week, and again, like, it might bounce off the top here. This might be too conservative, but I tend to just put a mix of conservative and more aggressive alerts, just so we've got a collection. There's always something to trade. And then same here on 5-day supply above. A lot of the 5-day supplies, and I've commented before, so I'll just go back to that quickly, that they're not necessarily strong zones. So in this case, this might be a more reliable one, but some of them, when they're going to be coming back up from a monthly demand here, could just run into a new high. So be a bit careful on those, because I'm assuming a lower high, and everything basically is in these sort of giant triangles. So triangles / ranges. So some of these, this could be too aggressive, they could run higher, and others might be fine. So it just depends. A lot of these just depend on when the market hits, or what the market's doing, and when the zones hit. Here's a 3-day demand that I put an alert on. It's obviously slightly more aggressive. I actually would probably expect it to go down there in the long run, but we might get a bounce off here in the interim. It's coming off weekly supply. I think, yeah, oh yeah, so the other thing is, so this does have a monthly and 3-monthly demand, which has already been alerted, so it could just run from here. So this I am actually more bullish on. But if it does run deeper in the zone, it can still run here and still be bullish. And if it runs deeper in the zone, it's worth looking for long entries, and I haven't put shorts for the same reason, for the 3-month demand. And also, as I've said a few times, they're very, very mixed. Like some, like that previous had 3-month demand. This is still 3-month supply. It's coming off annual supply. Annual supply here, 6-month supply off this high. So I'm much more bearish biased on this, at least until we get down to this monthly. But even then, if it's coming off 6-month supply, you expect a lower low. So this, and again, this is one of the ones where you can see the chop. We've got a monthly demand, which is the weekly chart. So we've got a monthly demand in there. We've also got a 3-week slightly higher, and a 2-week close to the monthly. So again, it's just alert generally for that zone to see if the market's in the right place, and we get a good reaction there. This was another one that had a 5-day supply hit there, so it's giving a nice reaction off it at the moment, and hopefully we'll break through this demand and go lower. ARCA, that was a newer one. This was a crazy weird PA on this. It's one of the Max C weird coins, so I put an alert there just to see weekly demand. This is one of the ones we were actually looking at here. I was just like, this is mental PA, and I put an alert here just for if it went. I'll actually mark that because I like to record my alerts for later. It was more of a just keep an eye on this and see if you can get in if it starts to break some of these stops here. So, and maybe it happened there. I don't think it did. I think it was later. But anyway, yeah. So it did obviously get a pump after that. Came back, retested monthly, and then took off again. So I must move this across from here now. So yeah, like while it's a bit of a crazy chart, worth watching. This weekly demand if it gets back there. ARDR. This one was actually a bit stronger, yeah, yesterday when I was looking at it, it was the same. Sure, I have lost some levels off here now. There isn't another ARDR. I hope I'm not going to find it. We did have a power cut yesterday. I hope I'm not going to find this hadn't saved and I've lost all the levels that I put. That would be disastrous. That'd be like 3 hours of work gone in the bin. But I don't know why that zone isn't marked there. That makes me slightly nervous. So 5-day demand, it's tested and it's coming up into 5-day supply. I think I had alert, yeah, so it has hit a monthly demand here, which didn't have. I had alerted for the 2 week below, but I hadn't alerted the monthly in time. And yeah, it's come off quite nicely. So I think that, yeah, and maybe it was just because it was stronger yesterday that I just thought, okay, I'm not going to put any local shorts in there. We'll see what we can see what happens if it comes back into this 2 week and the lower monthly. But this is, you know, possibly something that may run. Yeah, I really don't know why. I'll go to the next chart and see why I don't have any drawings on here. 2 days supply up there. ARKM. No, apparently I do have drawings here. Maybe I just missed that chart out for some reason, but the alerts are there, so that's slightly odd. Anyway, so yeah, I've got an alert here for 5-day supply above, and really just falling into a range. It's second hit on this 2 week demand. Yeah, again, coming off the monthly supply, I'm not overly confident with putting longs in here. So on this one, I've left it for lower. That doesn't mean it won't bounce in here. There is a 5-day and a 3-day, but again, the other thing is I try and limit it to 2 alerts per chart, because otherwise, I keep running out of alerts anyway. Yeah, if I start putting thousands of alerts, but yeah, I just don't love this as a structure, but because it's coming off monthly supply, it's always good to have some outlying alerts anyway, just in case the market does have a big crash, so I can watch down there if it gets there. ARC. This is what I was thinking of actually when I was just looking at ARDR. Maybe I did miss ARDR yesterday. Anyway, ARC, yeah, this was one of the ones that I felt was stronger as well, but again, it's really quite choppy, so it makes it hard. I think it's the perpetual chart that is the one that I've been using with all the alerts on. So yeah, I've got an alert down here in 2 week demand. It's just challenging. Again, we've got a weekly demand that is holding, again, look at the 3-day. Yeah, weekly demand that is holding. So that, but yeah, when you have multiple tests like this and then it's starting to weaken off and it's hit a monthly supply, I'm much more inclined to be short biased here. I think there maybe just wasn't a great zone up the top there to look for a short on yet. So, you know, you can be short biased in monthly supply, but that doesn't mean it's not going to go higher. So and I've got an alert up here on the weekly supply inside the bigger monthly, but it doesn't mean it's not going to go higher inside the monthly supply. While we're looking at supply and demand, we're also looking at waves going down. So this is a wave down, retracement, and then a wave down. So it can go anywhere in the range of this wave and still be bearish on this time frame and then bullish on the bigger time frame. So you're just looking at waves and retracements. So at the moment here, we've got a large up wave, retraced it. So this could still take out the high. And I don't really like the supply there, so I'm not going to put a short on that. ARPA. Some of these names are so similar, I feel like I'm doing them twice, and the charts look so similar as well. I think I did, yeah, so this made a 3-week supply, came off the monthly supply, made a 3-week supply, so I have an alert here on the 5-day if it retests. I was tempted to put, I think, a trend line break alert on, but I didn't, just again because it's got this 3-week demand in here and this chop. And it's just, so now I was looking back at previous price action, you know, and these can just grind up for quite a while before they come and break the trends. So unless I've kind of gone in nearer the top, I'm less comfortable with looking for shorts on break of trend. For example, if you'd looked here, just do it roughly, for a break of trend there, like it came through and then it messed around for a while before the eventual drop. I think I was actually trying to trade a trend break here. That might have been a break up. There was something, or maybe it was there, that I was trying to trade this trend break and it just failed dismally, so I was setting alerts for a drop, but it never worked. Yeah, so, and again, there's a yearly demand down here and there's a whole bunch of stops there, so the prospect of taking out that those lows I quite like. And this one is just looking a little bit weak at the moment. Can change very quickly in crypto though, so I just look at the zones as and when they're created. So let me get back up to the 3-day. AR, this is coming off an annual supply, so generally just based on that I'm bearish. And then I look back in hindsight and I'm kind of like, why was I, you know, I sometimes go in phases of being more aggressive on the charts and looking for more scalps, and then other times looking for more swings. But when I look back at this, I think, you know, why on earth did I put, I tend to disclaim them like I probably would have put on the alert, we are in annual supply. But sometimes I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get one more push maybe up into this monthly. So yeah, anyway, this again, alert on 5-day supply and alert down here on monthly demand on the more conservative side. ASR, another one that's significantly more bearish. This has made a 6-month supply here. And it's wicky and nasty, and it's made a monthly below, or was it still coming out of that monthly? No, it's made a monthly in December, which I've now missed the entry on. But there is the 6-month above, and then this 4-day, like every other chart. So again, I've just alerted that if it does get a test here, comes back into there, and then maybe we'll get the bigger move after that. Could put an alert on the all-time low there, but I feel like this is something that if it does drop, it's probably just going to keep going down. I think it might just be a MEXC only coin. ASTR, the standard 4-5-day supply alert there, but again, it may have already been tested. And this is one of the ones which we see on quite a few of them, where we've had a monthly supply here and it's swing failed it and closed back below. Some of them, this has closed quite high, but some of them have closed significantly below. But then also it's got a monthly demand, so it's a slightly confused chart. And we're basically just trading within a monthly range there, so it's not an ideal chart to trade. So I think that was one of the ones I was a little bit uncertain of. So 4-5-day supply there that I've alerted, and then nothing on the long side because I'm just not overly comfortable with longs. I mean, I could put an entry on this 3-day. And there's a weekly there as well. Not sure why I didn't. But maybe I'll just throw in a 3-day alert there just in case. I kind of do feel that maybe if it comes down that low now, it's going to break down. But I guess you never know. So I'll put an alert on the 3-day, just something to watch if it gets there. AST. So this is one of the ones with a monthly demand there. And these are just difficult because a lot of them look like this. So they've got this 2 monthly supply inside. Some of them have swing failed the monthly supply, others like this have just rejected it. And then they've got these new monthly 2-week, 3-week demands underneath, which so I just simply don't know if these are going to hold in these giant triangles, or are we going to start seeing a bigger breakdown. This is something that looks quite scary. If we do see a bigger breakdown, this can go potentially quite a long way down. And then, yeah, a question of whether we are going to get alt season, I guess. You know, the others chart and the total 3 charts still look okay, but some of these alts are still looking horrendous. But I'm liking the mix. I like the So it looks like this has just missed my alert on the wick anyway, so it's a little bit risky coming back there, but we'll see. And yeah, so short alert up on 2 week supply up there. And so yeah, just to clarify for anybody who's new to following me, zones don't have to hit. So just because I have an alert all the way down here, don't panic and think that means it's going to 0. That's a different kind of analysis. All I'm doing is putting alerts on clear, clean zones, generally that have had good reactions off them, that we will then trade as and when they get to. And if they don't get to them, then they don't get to them. Or if the market's in the wrong place when they do get to them, so for example here, if the market suddenly turns super bullish, then obviously you're not going to suddenly short everything here and get wrecked when the price keeps going up. So the market has to be in the right place. And similarly here, you know, if I have a long entry, this is a monthly demand, and in this case came all the way down to the bottom of it. Well, actually it wouldn't have been a monthly back then, but probably would have run through. Oh no, it would have been a monthly from here, I think. You know, it's come really deep inside it, so you're not just blindly trading any of these alerts. It's like, if you want to take a bigger trade than a scalp, it's like, is the market going in the right direction overall? But yeah, you shouldn't be blindly shorting or blindly longing anything. If the market's going sideways, fine, but if the market's being aggressive in a particular direction, then you're looking for trades in that direction. It's aggressively down, we have a short of monthly supply, and then you're looking for the retests. They're the high probability ones. This could have given you a bounce up to here, but in this case didn't. So yeah, anyway, ATA, yeah, I kind of mulled this over for a while yesterday. There's a 6 month demand there, which my instinct is to be safe and be down here, but then there was also a 3 week in between, and then this hourly, clean hourly, and you can sometimes see alerts off, decent bounces off these zones when you've had a significant move away from it. So I thought it was worth alerting the hourly. My only comment when the alert did go through today was that it's come down. It's had a lot more consolidation than I would like, and like really I would have wanted this to hit here then, and it probably hit a 30-minute in there then, so this is probably a bit too long, but again, worth watching. And if not, now I've reset the alert for this 3 week and then possibly the 6 month inside. I don't love the 3 week because of the candle going through it, but if there's a lot of consolidation there, it could pick that up from an SR perspective as well as demand. ATH, let's go back up to the high time frame. It's another one that's high time frame, just a sort of sideways range that's come up to the top of the range. It did swing fail the monthly in here, but is now coming back down, now has monthly demand, already bounced off that at the start of the year, and back up into 5 day supply. So I guess with all the 5 day supplies that I'm alerting, this is kind of what I'm looking for, and this already has enacted it, and a few of them have hit and work quite nicely. I think we saw one of the ARDR or one of those earlier. This is now still on monthly demand, so it could get another bounce here and just move up, but again, my alert's just lower. I don't like to alert zones twice, just because they hit twice. They can still work on the second hit, but those are ones then I feel like I need to be watching them, because I know demand or supply is depleted when it's a second hit of a zone. So yeah, in this case I put the alert down on 5 day, 5 day demand near the bottom. It's a perpetual chart of that. ATM, another one that I'm more bearish on, annual supply. It's wicked into it a few times, and I think, yeah, that was already an annual supply. Oh, sorry, no, that's an annual supply. It's already hit this year, in this month, so it had a couple of wicks into it, I think, when it was a 6 month supply before, but also has now hit. Maybe that even hit today when I wasn't watching. No, that was probably hitting yesterday. But yeah, that would have been a nice short, and yeah, so I'm definitely short biased on this, hence no long entries. I think I was just hoping we would take out those 2 wicks. Still possible we do, but yeah, I've set an alert there just in case that happens, but not looking for longs on this. Atom's part of my majors group, so I don't do Atom. I'm not doing it here anyway. Auction. This is, yeah, a bit of a choppy, messy chart, but again, short bias due to being on yearly supply up. Oh no, this was actually a really awkward one. Let me just go back to show you the yearly of this. This was awkward because it closed a yearly demand, But now it's obviously drifting back more deeply into it. So, but it closed a yearly, it had a yearly supply, and then it closed a yearly kind of demand just by closing over the wick. So it's hard to show, but so this would have been the supply, that candle. For some reason I haven't got, I need to put the level back in. So that would have been the yearly supply when this red candle closed below. Then it came back up the next year and closed inside that supply. So then it becomes challenging as to whether this is now flipping to demand or whether it's still a supply. And I've seen both scenarios play out. So it's a little bit more challenging on that one. And I think I've just put the levels. I haven't drawn either the supply or demand. On top of that, we do have this monthly supply up here though. So again, we are drifting down. I think I was looking for longs provisionally if that held back last year, but then obviously ultimately it broke down, and now just really back in the range. So my bias is a little bit mixed on this. So again, I put a slightly more aggressive alert on 3-day demand there just to see if it just comes down and takes out those stops, and then bigger picture, there's a monthly down there if it gets there. I haven't put any short alerts in just because it's very messy and wicky up here, and I would want to watch it even when they hit. There is a 2-week up there that potentially I think I would have alerted here, but maybe just didn't quite get tested. But that is a zone I would look for if it did an aggressive move up. These are obviously very high time frame. I do a lot more low time frame, but this particular set of analysis is just because I have to update all these charts for the annual zones. So audio has kind of been holding this 3-day demand and is struggling and moving deeper into it. Monthly supply here. Some levels over that. It was in it's also in a 3-week demand, but I think I've just hidden that because it's too painful having so many levels on the chart. Certainly got some layout issues here. So again, that 5-day supply, if it comes back up there, and I have got an alert here, it does have a monthly demand here, so if this does hold, then it could get a decent bounce. It'll be about time if this zone is going to hold. But again, it's still very tenuous because it's coming from monthly supply going into monthly demand. AVAIL, so this actually made a monthly supply right under the price, just by a hair. So not a strong one. See the red candle, the December candle closed just under. And so it's gone back up and tested. It's also got a 3-week higher in there, which it hasn't quite touched, which is surprising, so I don't know why. I think, this is, again, one of the other challenges I had. Like, it has touched on this candle, but it hasn't touched since the 3-week confirmed, so it makes it slightly more dubious as to whether that's going to hold if it comes back there. But I think when I was thinking about this yesterday, I think I wanted this to either fall off a cliff or it's going to go back up. It's, again, still a range. It's a weak monthly supply, so I wasn't necessarily wanting to be overly aggressive on it. Ava ended up with a pump because I think CZ tweeted about it. This is when you can see some of my layout issues. So, oops. Pumped up, hit monthly supply. Looks like we've got an annual, sort of a dubious annual level there from previously, and I think because of that I've alerted the 3-day demand. It's very clean 3-day demand, but it does also have 3-month and monthly, and those weeklies lower, so we'll see. I had an alert there before, unfortunately it didn't get back up high enough to test it, but now I've got an alert, some more aggressive alert for the 4-day supply. If it confirms, and it has confirmed now, so I can get rid of that if it confirms as of yesterday. But again, this might just come down here now. Not looking overly like there's anything for it to support on, unless it picks up some of these wicks to go back for the test. AVAX bouncing between 5-day and 5-day supply demand, weekly and monthly down there, and again this trend line. So it's something I've also commented on in previous videos. Like these trend lines I'm really not liking with this monthly weekly demand. And like I've seen trend lines that sometimes they get taken out, other times they don't, so it can go either way. So I am alerting just in case we do get a bounce on top, but just be conscious of these trend lines, and be particularly conscious if price doesn't show strength off the level, because What you will find is if there are stops through there, then you'll probably get quite a lot of slippage if you put your stop loss somewhere under here. So just be a little bit careful. And then for some reason, I think there is a decent short there on monthly supply if it comes back. I think I just didn't want to have that many alerts on here. I think I thought I'd wait till that hits and then look at putting a supply alert on it. AXL. So I've got a short, like less aggressive. So again, this has been quite choppy on the way down. So I've got a short up here because it had a clean daily supply up the top that hasn't been tested and a good drop away from it. So, but again, the chances of it getting back now, not on this run, it's not going to get back up there now. So when you're looking from a daily perspective, you know, probably looking at a more aggressive alert here. But again, even those I'm not overly comfortable doing because now we're back in this sort of weekly, monthly demand. So something like this may or may not get back up there. If it does, great. And then I've got a long down here, 1 week, put the comment 1 week demand, a bit dubious, but it's aligned with the 6 month level. So we do have a 6 month, and it's a dubious 6 month because it's from when the Bybit listed it. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a very accurate 6 month, but I also go with what people see on the chart. And it's got a weekly demand at the same level, so if there's some confluence then it's worth watching. Like it's not normally a weekly I would look at. This potentially is going to make a weekly supply there, so actually I will, if this hits, I'll probably look at making a short on the weekly supply there. So pulling that short entry down. And then finally AXS. Another one with some old zones which have reappeared. I feel like that shouldn't be a monthly level right there. No. Should that be a 3 week? Yeah, so this is also one of the more painful ones. So we had a monthly supply. I had it alerted, but then it wicked straight through it, but then went just into the next zone. So got a really nice short on the second try. So the first try just ran through. And then I've set another alert here for the new weekly supply if it retests. And then we'll just see what happens. This also has a 3 month demand, but I think that's a historic, yeah, so it's a historic 3 month demand. So this is a 3 month that's been hit a few times, has a monthly, so there's a monthly demand at the bottom here that I've alerted. And then we'll just see what the reaction is there and at the weekly supply. So again, you'll notice with these, quite a lot of these, I'm just generally looking at extremes. So if you start to look, if you look at the bottom, if you look at entries in the middle of waves, then they're less likely to be reliable. So for example, this is the whole move down, and in this case it's a range, it hasn't broken support. So while this is a monthly supply and I still think it was worth alerting, it's the range has then taken it back up to the top of the range. It's worth alerting, and you'll see, like if you run through the charts and look at these monthlies, like quite a lot of them did actually give alerts, give shorts, but then they came down into this demand before a re-entry for the next leg. So actually they can be quite useful, but they're just generally less reliable. But the ones at the extremes, so if you're looking at extreme move, longing at the start of the extreme move, longing again at the start of the extreme move, and then shorting at the top of a drop, here, then they're going to be much more reliable than stuff you play around with in the middle. But obviously I try and put alerts in the middle just because we need things to trade. And as I've said a couple of times already in this video, it just really depends what the market's doing and whether the market's in the right place. Anyway, I hope that's useful. What else should I say? Nothing else to really add. The only thing just to reiterate, alerts are not blind entries. They are for analysis and looking at the structure. I'm only looking at these structures very, very quickly when I do these charts. You know, I'm kind of trying to get a general idea of whether I'm bullish or bearish, at least on the monthlies or on the weekly upwards. But I'm not trying to put anything too aggressive for the most part, except, you know, when I've done all the annual updates, then I'll start to look for more aggressive. For example, like something like this, it would have been an aggressive long entry on a daily demand or something. But again, like I'm not not hoping to take this up for a higher high. I'm just looking to take it for a scalp. Yeah, so as any of the zones and alerts hit, that's what you're looking for. If you want access to my alerts, I have a group on Telegram, so you can come and join my group, but it is a subscription. If you PM me, then we can potentially talk about using a referral code to allow you entry. Then you'll get all these alerts, you know, as and when they happen. Otherwise, you get to just see the videos of them, you know, kind of either close to the time when they're happening, like they're not always just hindsight, but I'll show some of the hindsight outcomes, and then I'll show a bit of them. Mainly, you just get the immediate alerts. Maybe I can just show you that quickly. So, one moment. So this is my alt channel, so what you'll see is these alerts are coming in like this, and sometimes I put a comment on them when I say, you know, that ATA one that I talked about earlier came in at 1:30 today, and I say, you know, there's more consolidation than I'd like, but you can watch the zone, it's aggressive, and others just come in as a, you know, the perp hitting 1 month demand, SEX hitting 1 month demand, etc. So yeah, I think that's it for the day. I'm trying to keep this video short, 36 minutes. It's got to be a record for me. I hope that's useful, and let me know on Telegram or on chat here if you have any questions. Have a good evening.